Hi friends of cocktails! If you like fall flavors, today's episode is for you. You're making a chestnut old-fashioned, not quite as fast as shown in that intro, but it will feel like you're tasting and smelling the autumn forest, sip by sip. We'll first infuse the base spirits, then we'll make a mushroom perfume, and finally build a cocktail. Another classic Cocktail Time episode. If you'd like to see more, make sure to subscribe below. Now, there's some work to be done. So let's start. It's Cocktail Time. We've done fall cocktails before to get you in the right mood for this season, namely the two fall highballs, Scotch and Apple, and the high fall with buckwheat and pear, and we've done plenty of old fashions. If you've picked up on the clue in the opening, today's approach will be similar to the donut old fashioned, where we infused whiskey with a donut and turned it into a delicious old fashioned. Today we'll infuse two different brandies. One is a cognac and the other one is a Calvados. We'll blend in cooked chestnuts, maple syrup, pimento bitters, and some citric acid solution. If you don't have these specific bottles, you can try making this with any brandy on hand. Start by adding the 3 ounces or 90 ml of cognac into a blender. Cognac is a brandy from the wine-growing region surrounding the Cognac commune in France. Follow that with 1 ounce or 30 ml of Calvados. Brandy from Normandy, also France, made most commonly from apples, but pears can be used as well. Then you'll add 30 grams of cooked and nicely peeled chestnuts. You can buy these as well, but foraging for your cocktail ingredients makes it a little extra special, and make sure to save at least 1 chestnut for the garnish of the cocktail. To give our chestnut brandy a little festive spice and richness, add 4 dashes of pimento bitters. We made them in the previous episode, but Dale DeGraff sells his version on Amazon if you don't feel like making them. I'll leave a link in the description. To balance the bitters and add more fall notes, we'll add half an ounce or 50 ml of maple syrup. And lastly, 3 grams of 6% citric acid solution. The easiest way to make it is to mix 6 grams of citric acid in 94 grams of water, or use lemon juice. That works too. Adding acidity is crucial for the milk clarification to work, since that's what will make the milk curdle. And that will be the next step after we blend this chestnut brandy mixture, to incorporate all of the flavors. So pour 35 ml of milk into a glass jar, then add the blended mixture into the milk. Let this sit for at least 1 hour, for the milk to fully curdle. It might not look the best right now, but this is what will help catch all of the solids on the coffee filter. Something we always do when clarifying is to refilter the first liquid that goes through the filter. Once the curds and all of the solids create an additional filter, we'll get a clear brandy full of fall flavors and a smooth mouthfeel, ready to make the perfect autumn old-fashioned. Something that will complement the chestnut flavor will be the fungi perfume. I'll spray it over the cocktail. As the saying goes in food pairing, what grows together, goes together. That might sound like an unofficial motto of House Targaryen and the Lannisters, but it's something I've highlighted before in the Cocktail Times newsletter when talking about pairing flavors in cocktails. Making fungi perfume is really simple. You'll just need dried mushrooms, vodka and thyme. I showed you foraging for mushrooms, and then drying them can be fun and easy in the Umami Martini episode last year. Here you'll need 2 grams of dried mushrooms, which you'll cover in a jar with vodka. 45 ml or 1.5 ounce of any vodka you have on hand, and if it's empty before that, just swap in any other vodka. Mix and let it infuse for a week. I have a swap here, so I'm ready to strain. Then pour it into a spray bottle. And that's it. We have everything ready to make the cocktail. Chestnut brandy, Oloroso sherry, chocolate bitters, saline solution, and the freshly made mushroom perfume. And if you're wondering what a chestnut old-fashioned cocktail might look like, we tasked artificial intelligence to generate images based on those keywords. Here's what we got. Not bad, but I think there's still a lot of value in having a bartender make the real thing. Just like the value of real-life masterpieces from artists like Picasso, Warhol or Banksy keeps increasing. And today's sponsor, Masterworks, lets you invest in just that. If you do any kind of investing or have a 401k, I'm sure you've been keeping an eye on how poorly stocks have been performing, but this is where the art from Banksy and Picasso comes in. According to Citibank, art as an investment has an extremely low correlation to these falling stocks. The art market is doing better than even its pre-pandemic levels. That's why Masterworks is seeing more demand that they can keep up with. They buy paintings from legendary artists and break them into shares for you to add to your portfolio. Then, when the painting sells, you get your potential profit. So far, Masterworks has sold 6 paintings, returning a net average of 29% to their investors, and they have over 500,000 investors on the platform. With stocks continuing to fall, demand is so high that Masterworks has a waitlist. But you can click the link in the description to skip it. Thank you Masterworks for sponsoring this video. Now, let's make the real chestnut old-fashioned. As always, start with a chilled mixing glass. before you add the ingredients, while the clear ice block is already tempering in the glass. We've made enough chestnut brandy for about 2 cocktails, but for a single serve I'm using 2 ounces for 60 ml. For a bit of extra complexity, I'll add Oloroso sherry. The Cristina from González Bias is labeled as medium dry. 1 bar spoon will be enough. We've added enough sweetness with the maple syrup in the chestnut brandy, but I think adding 4 dashes of chocolate bitters after the clarification process will balance the cocktail and even complement the allspice bitters we added before. And as we often do, 2 drops of saline solution, and it will enhance the savory notes of the cocktail. Add plenty of ice and stir to mix, chill and dilute. 20 to 30 seconds depending on your ice and stirring should be enough. Strain over the clear ice block and garnish with a chestnut. Mine is roasted. Final touch, a spray of fungi perfume. It will add pleasant umami notes, really bringing home the notion that this cocktail is straight from the fall forest. And let's get transported there by tasting the chestnut old fashioned. Cheers! First, you'll get a wonderful combination of umami mushroom and a roasted chestnut on the aroma, and going for the brandy as the base for this fall old-fashioned was certainly the right choice. Chocolate and maple syrup work great together as well. The whole cocktail has a nice silky mouthfeel, and the flavors are so intertwined they create the perfect flavor I can only describe as an autumn cocktail. I hope you're enjoying the fall and that you'll try this cocktail. The Cocktail Time is busy preparing for the upcoming episodes, with Halloween and November right around the corner. Check out past episodes to get ready for that. Cheers, friends of cocktails!